Hi, I'm Todd Heitkamp, Owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-minute fishing report. Well, folks, the weather continues to influence and impact the fishing around the area, especially the success of many of the lakes. But a lot of the guys have been going out. A lot of guys out driving around it, even though we don't recommend it. There's been a lot of lakes reported of 15, 16 inches plus. Again, no matter where you go, make sure you check the thickness of the ice. And remember, no ice is truly safe. So truly understand you need to respect the ice out there and be smart. But as far as the fishing report is concerned, a lot of the northeastern lakes struggled this weekend. You had to work really hard, and I shouldn't say just northeastern lakes. All eastern South Dakota lakes really had to really move around quite a bit throughout the weekend. But up in the northeast lakes that continue to produce walleyes include Bitter, Walleye, Indian Springs, Reeds, Opitz, and also Enemy Swim. And then down the southeastern part of the state, the lakes included Dry Lake by Willow Lake started to really heat up. Thompson, 81 Ponds, Ponset, you have to sort quite a bit at Ponset, a lot of 8 to 13 inch walleyes. Oakwood, east and west, and then also Sinai, Twin, Henry, and Beaver also produce a few walleyes as well. Now what were guys using? A lot of rattle jigs, as I said in previous weeks, but it seems like the Jason Mitchell blade spoon, rattling blade spoon, really produced a lot of walleyes. I don't know if it was the bucktail that triggered it or not, but it really been the hot jig the past week for walleyes. Then as far as the perch bite is concerned, Bitter, Walleye, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Ponset, Sinai, 81 Ponds, Marsh Slough by Hayti, as well as South Island and Diamond produce some perch, in those locations. The crappie bite continues to go well depending on the day, but Thompson, Ponset, Pickerel all produce crappies, and then Sinai seems to be doing the best right now, especially in the early morning and late afternoon and evening hours. Now, what have guys been using for the perch and crappie? A lot of tungsten jigs, to say the least. That seems like the tungsten tubby jig by BMC has worked really well as the Northland banana bug jig, tipped with some plastics. Whether or not it'd be really what's worked well is the Trigger X mustache worms, as well as other plastics from Trigger X, and then also Berkeley, and then also clam as well. If you don't use plastics, maggots and waxworms seem to be doing the trick. In this week's version of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about swim jigs, and I'm going to get to that, what do I mean by swim jigs, but there's a number of them on the market right now, and a lot of guys aren't using these as often as what they should, because they think that's older style type of jigs. And folks, honestly, there's more and more of them on the market now than ever before. And what am I talking about, a swim jig? The most common one is from Rapala, the Rip and Wrap. It's very common. You jig it and it's going to dart out and it's going to give that swimming motion like the live bait. So it's very, very useful, especially when you hit the bottom and rip it up, and it will allow to be swimming around the area, and again, be a great attracting type of lure. The second type that is new this year is from Johnson. It's called the Johnny Darter, and that basically is the same thing, is very similar to the Ripping Wrap, but it has a rattle in it. So again, if you combine the usefulness of rattle plus the swimming motion of that swim jig, you got an effective lure in the Johnny Darter. The third one is from Moonshine Lures, the Shiver Minnow. The reason why I talk about that is the unique shape to it, plus the unique glow. These jigs glow like you wouldn't believe. When I shut the lights off at night, the whole store lights up from these types of jigs. So again, the Moonshine lure, the Shiver Minnow, is a great lure to have if you're looking for a glow presentation. The fourth type is Custom Jigs and Spins RPM jig. A lot of times when you're using these jigs, you can get a little line twist going on. Well, the RPM jig eliminates that by having a swivel on top, and so it will allow that swimming motion going on without any type of worry on line twist. So all these different types of jigs have different type of unique factors to them. If you want to learn more about them, stop by here at the store and ask about the swim jigs. Now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, please send it to me. Send it to Todd at DakotaAngler.com. or post it to our Facebook wall, and if we use your photo, your name will be entered into a monthly drawing for a $25 gift certificate. Well, folks, before we end this report, I want to bring a couple of things to your attention. First off is that if you'd like to have a sweatshirt like I'm wearing right here, the Dakota Angler when hell freezes over, I'll ice fish there too, you can have one yourself. $20 and you can have one. You can stop by here at the store, you can call on here at the store and we'll ship it to you, or you can order online. On the back it has all this year's Ice Institute sponsors, and then we also have a second style, a hockey sweatshirt for $30. So it's a great gift for a loved one or for yourself, but make sure you give us a call or stop by here in the store. We have plenty on hand to get this year's Dakota Angler sweatshirt. Second of all, folks, the number of ice shacks that we have, all the inventory is starting to decrease as far as shacks, augers, and electronics. Make sure you stop by here at the store and check out what remains and all the good deals that are still out there available for this year's ice season. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next time, and again, thanks for watching.